This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning, Rabbi. So we're going to do something a little different today. Usually I give a share on Friday on the Haftorahs, but I'm not going to be here this Friday. So we're going to learn a little bit about the Haftorahs. So we'll do a few different segments, and if we have time, maybe we'll speak a little bit about Tu B'Shvat. Okay, so I'll tell you a little story, a Ma'aseh Shehaya. There was a guy, a farmer. He's an apikam, an Amoretz Doiraisa. He doesn't know no Chumash, no Mishnah, no Gemara. He knows what? A Bissel Tzenorena. But what he has down pat is the Luach. He has the Ezra's Torah Luach, or the equivalent of that. And, whenever somebody has a question about Zmanim, he's the go-to guy. Now, the reason I'm telling you this story is in this week's Haftorah, the Rabbi Yeshaya says, "Va'oimer oyli kinid meisi." Woe to me, I am doomed. Ki yish temeis vasayim anoichi. I am a man of impure lips. Uvetoich am temeis vasayim anoichi yoshev. And I live among a people of impure lips. Ki es hamelech Hashem tzvakos ro'o einai. Because the King, Hashem, Master of hosts, my eyes have seen. So Yeshaya is being very critical. He's saying about himself that he is a man of impure lips, and he's saying about Klal Yisrael that Klal Yisrael are an am tmei svasayim, to the point where the Malach comes and puts coals on Yeshaya's lips and burns his mouth because he spoke badly. Ritzoitz peh, v'yodoi ritzbach Chazal darshan, that the Malach burnt the mouth of Yeshaya for criticizing Klal Yisrael. But why is Yeshaya being so critical? Why is he criticizing himself? Why is he criticizing Klal Yisrael? Why does he have this, so to speak, negative image of himself and Klal Yisrael? So back to the farmer who's the Amoretz. But one thing he knows is the Zmanim. People want to know when the Zman Kriya Shema. He opens up his little book. He says, Zman Kriya Shema, which one do you want to know, Magen Avram or the Gra? So people are looking at him, a Groisa Talmud Chacham this guy is. And even the guy himself, he knows he's an Amoretz Gomor. But now people start asking, when's the plag? And he said, which plag? Which plag? And people want to know, when's the last time for Kiddush Levana? The guy starts, because what kind of kashas do they have already in the little city? They have these kind of kashas, manim, pashat kashas. And he starts answering all the kashas, and he starts really believing in himself. He starts thinking to himself, I'm not only do I know something, I'm kamat the gadol ador. Because every shaila, I'm the address, and I'm the one who could give the definitive answer. All shailas from around the globe are coming to me. So he comes home to his wife, and he says, you thought you married an Amoretz, and I'm very pleased to inform you that not only am I not an Amoretz, I'm probably going to be on the Mayetzes Gedolei HaTorah very soon, because I answer all the shailas in the town. The only thing is, he then goes to the big city one day, and he hears after davening, the Rav says over Dvar Halacha, and one guy says, the stira, the Nasivis, and the Hilchas Shchenim says like this, and one guy is quoting the Shagas Aryeh, and the guy doesn't know who the Nasivis is, what the Shagas Aryeh is, he doesn't know what Hilchas Shchenim is, he doesn't even know what a Dvar Torah is. All he knows is the Moilad, Plaga Mincha, and the Zman of Shkia. So he realized his wife was right. She did marry an Amoretz. It's only relative to the people he usually hangs out with, he knew something. But when he finally gets to the big leagues, he realizes he's not even a minor leaguer. So too, says the Duvna Magid, Yeshaya, he was one of the greatest of the Nevi'im. In fact, perhaps the greatest of all the Nevi'im besides Moshe Rabbeinu. Yeshaya had some of the greatest visions of all the Nevi'im. But that's so long as he's down here in this Olam HaShafal. The moment he soars to the Shamayim and he sees the Malachei HaShares, and he sees Kes HaMelech Hashem Tzavakos Ro'o Einai, and he sees compared to the Malachim and compared to Ribbanu Shel Olam, he's not a Grois Navi. Rather, says Yeshaya, I am forced to admit the truth. Ish Tmeis Vasayim Anoichi Uvetoich Am Tmeis Vasayim Anoichi Yoshev. Everything in this world is relative. Until now, I had nothing. The barometer, it always depends what you're judging based on. Well, says the Duvna Magid, take a look in number 2 on your sheets. In the Duvna Magid's commentary to the Haftorah, Duvna Magid says, Lahamtik Maimer Zeh, to sweeten this statement of Yeshaya, Emshal Chamashal, I'm going to give you a mashal. Lemoizig Yoshev B'Kfar Shloimad Rak HaSefer Tzenorena V'Yidiyasa Yisabluach Hashana. Some farmer, all he knew was the Tzenorena, And he knew the calendar of Anasham Chusim Menoshalo Isazmanim al Rashi Chadashim Me'amoyedim al Akar V'Achayim. Basically he knew the farmer's almanac, he knew the weather, he knew the Zmanim. V'hu hayayoshev mabit tochluach Hashem Magid lahem. He opened up his handy book and he told them, V'yomer al ishtoi shimuna es asher asar ve'lach chadashas hertzachayin v'atomer toiva anoichi shoymas. You didn't know this. I'm a big lamdan. And I'm an onav also, because even I didn't realize this until now. That's how big of an onav I am. And she said, "No, how did you have this epiphany that you realize what a goyin you are?" That I heard everybody says when there's a shaila in the city, we go to farmer whatever, Yankala, Yasala. Shaftu v'amdu anachnu nishal pi ha'moizik v'al piv neida emes. Everybody says, let's ask this guy. I'm the weatherman. And he said to her, you should know, I knew deep down that I had it in me. You should know that I knew one day I would be one of the Gedolei Hadar. Okay. Vayihi, what happened? And she was also happy. She was also happy because her mother would tell her, you married Mamish and I'm a Oretz Doiraisa Drabanan. And she was always embarrassed, but now she could go back and tell her mother that you made a mistake. I married one of the Gedolim. Vayiki kiva yamim v'nasal ir Gedola yam naram. He came one year to the big city during the high holidays. V'rab batik nesias anoshim Gedolim limudei Hashem yireim u'shlemim mechadedim zeh zavalach. He saw big people, balabatim even, Yirei Shamayim, Lamdonim, and he didn't even know what they're talking about. Who's Abaye? Who's Rava? What's a Makshin? What's a Tartzin? What's a Rashi? What's a Tosfos? What are these different types of shovels? Oili ki oyisi kimisateh. He realized that he fooled himself. Dimisi v'chashavti ma'shachashavti yana yosh b'kfar. The reason he thought he was a goyin is because compared to the other farmers, he was a goyin. Ukenegdam. But once I got to the big leagues, I got to the big city, and I saw real chachamim. No longer do I consider myself so lofty. Well, says the Dubna Magid, the nimshal is ki Yeshaya Hanavi beroisa is atzmai rosham b'doiroi. He was the most distinguished in his generation. B'chachma, b'gvura, b'oisher, wisdom, strength, wealth, minamailos, hayo yakar be'ena mitziusa. He thought he was a rare breed. Namachar ki nifkachu eina b'maros hanavua. But when his eyes were opened, for us, kvoid elokei Yisrael kisei ramani, so he saw the glory of Ribbono Shel Olam on his holy throne, ustrafim oimdim imaloi, va'amois hasifim yanu mikol hakar b'kol noira. Even the pillars, the boulders of the building shook and shuddered from the mighty voice of Hashem. He says, Oy vay, Ozomar, Oy li kinid mesi. Kemoide v'oimer, as if Yeshaya is admitting, acknowledging, Haya nidma be'ena ki ani yikar metzios. I used to think I was special. And the reason is, but the mistake is that I realize that I'm a flesh and blood. I never knew a higher form, so I thought I was great, but now I see that there's something much greater. So now I realize that I see Hamelach Hashem Tzavakos Ra'u Einai. So this is the first offering on this week's Haftorah in the Navi Yeshaya.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.